Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, it's been a while since I watched a Mark Felton Productions video. Love his channel. Let's go. The IRA robbed a royal Prussian Imperial, robbed a royal Prussian Imperial jewels heist. So much confusion around this. So they went to Germany, or it was in a British museum? Oh, great lawn. Great house. Oof, I love that. Usually I was like, oh, great grass and just everything that, oh, oof, nice. Oh, sunroom. Yeah, I wrote.
For 30 years, between 1969 and 1998, Northern Ireland suffered through a period of violence known collectively as the Troubles. Things had come to a head in the late 1960s as the province degenerated into virtual open civil war between...
Man, the 60s was just a crazy time, huh? All over the place.
The Irish Catholics on the one side, whose Republican movement wanted Northern Ireland to unify with the Republic of Ireland, and the Loyalists on the other side, Protestant groups, who wanted Northern Ireland to remain part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Sorry. I'll react to that, sure. My other video finished and it plays that when it's done uploading. One of the big things I've learned about the Troubles is that I always assumed that it was like a Northern Ireland versus Southern Ireland, you know, on Ireland, but the British controlled Northern Ireland and then the Republic of Ireland. And I thought it was kind of skirmishes between each other, but most of it or all of it was in Northern Ireland, it seems.
Rioting in 1969 caused the British government to deploy troops to the province, who found themselves increasingly the targets of attacks, particularly by the Provisional Irish Republican Army, the IRA, the main Republican paramilitary force that had a long history, dating back to the 19th century, but in its present form as the IRA to 1913. The IRA was funded in various ways, some cash coming from overseas admirers or even governments hostile to Britain, but the majority of the cash needed to fund its operations came from activities on both sides of the Irish border. The IRA was involved in robberies, counterfeiting operations, protection rackets, kidnapping for ransom, and also smuggling operations, particularly cigarettes. However, they did avoid involvement in drugs and prostitution. The IRA also ran legitimate businesses such as taxi firms, nightclubs, offices, and nursing homes. As far as the organization was concerned, it raised money any way it could to support its cause of a united Ireland. Armed robbery was one of its primary ways of raising cash.
Wow, so the kind of IRA, Palestinian Liberation, what does the O stand for? I was about to say authority, but that's an A. Authority. Liberation. Forget. So the kind of sympathies between the IRA and the Palestinians goes back a bit. I thought it was more of just a since October 7th kind of thing.
Armed robbery was one of its primary ways of raising cash. It robbed banks, trains, and small businesses across Ireland and knocked off over 1,000 post offices in Northern Ireland. So when the IRA became aware that a party was occurring in a large house in Dublin, the guest list including several prominent socialites, including one with quite a bit of valuable jewellery, they decided to rob it. The robbery that followed caused a diplomatic incident between the Republic of Ireland and West Germany. Why? Because one of those robbed was a German imperial princess, well connected to Dublin's high society. In fact, she was the great-granddaughter of Germany's last emperor, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Her name was Princess Christa of Prussia. Born on the 31st of October 1936, the second child of Prince Wilhelm of Prussia, grandson of the Kaiser, her father died of wounds received in action in 1940 during the Battle of France. And his huge funeral, held at Potsdam Garrison Church, close to the Kaiser's old palace, so unsettled Hitler and the Nazis that Hitler actually passed a law forbidding princes of the former royal houses of Germany from serving in the German armed forces during the war. Hitler had become alarmed by the outpouring of popular support and respect for the Kaiser's fallen grandson, fearing any talk of a restoration of the House of Hohenzollern to the German imperial throne. The old Kaiser himself, living at the time in exile in the Netherlands, had attempted on several occasions to raise this subject with Hitler. Princess Christa was 9 when the war ended, and in 1961 she married, but further tragedy struck when her husband passed away in 1967 at the age of only 41. The couple had no children. One of her close friends was German socialite Renate Coleman, who was married to Irish millionaire Cecil Coleman, who in 1978 owned a large house called Monte Alverno in Dublin. It was an impressive property with a tower and a turret and beautifully kept gardens. Princess Christa worked as an interior designer based in Munich and travelled to Dublin with her partner Hans, carrying with her some 30 pieces of Hohenzollern family jewellery. On the 28th of June 1978, Mr. and Mrs. Coleman hosted a dinner party at the house, with a number of socially prominent guests in attendance. One invited guest was the West German ambassador, but he was actually unable to attend at the last minute. However, in the midst of the party, a group of armed men wearing balaclavas.
I'm wondering why these IRA soldiers are attacked. I figured it would have been like a party with British connections, but it doesn't seem to. So I'm confused why they're like attacking Irish places, like not within Northern Ireland.
And armed with automatic weapons burst into the house, holding everyone at gunpoint. Those present were all tied up, and the house was ransacked. Princess Christa's 30 pieces of jewellery being stolen, along with many other items. As we can see in this list of the items prepared by the princess, they were considerable pieces with significant monetary value, and some historical value as well, many
just Deutschmarks?
Being some of the last pieces of Imperial German jewellery that the family owned. The princess estimated the entire collection of having a value of 38,195 Deutschmarks. At the time of the robbery, the exchange rate was about 4 Deutschmarks to the British pound, giving a modern value of around £70,000 or 95,000 US dollars.
That doesn't seem like that much.
Needless to say, none of this Imperial German jewellery has ever been recovered and fenced on the black market. The proceeds from this robbery, as well as the proceeds generated from the robbery of the other guests and the owners of the house, must have run into hundreds of thousands of pounds into IRA coffers, helping to fund its operations. Princess Christa complained directly to the Irish president in November 1978 via the Irish Consul General in Munich, and the affair was passed to the Irish police.
Okay, so the IRA are not a group of people that had backing by the Irish government. They were just a group mainly focused on actions against the British in the north of Ireland. And so in order to get funding to continue that, they had to do this? Or was it symbolic in any way?
The funny thing about this particular robbery is the fact that in the IRA's early days during World War I, the Imperial German intelligence services, operating under the Kaiser's wishes, had actively tried to assist them by sending weapons to help fight the British. The Germans sent the IRA a huge stash of weapons on a ship, these weapons having been captured off the Russians earlier in World War I. It consisted of 20,000 Mosin-Nagant rifles, 10 Maxim machine guns
Oh,
and
wow.
4 million rounds of ammunition to aid the 1916 Easter Rising in Dublin. However, the entire shipment was lost when the Royal Navy intercepted the ship carrying it, the SS Libau.
Confused. So the Easter Rising in Dublin, so they were trying to get the Irish government more on board with the IRA in taking back land in the north?
And her captain
I'm sure I'm sounding really stupid right now, so please, you guys are awesome at answering my questions.
Scuttled her off the intercepted the ship carrying it, the SS Libau, and her captain scuttled her off the coast of County Kerry. The Germans also helped found the Irish Brigade from disaffected Irish POWs in German hands, led by Irish nationalist Sir Roger Casement. That the IRA should violently rob the great-granddaughter of the man who had tried to support their cause in World War I was quite ironic. But when it came to money, it appears that the IRA had little regard for history. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.
So this was a fascinating video, and it's one of those videos that really makes me want to learn more, because there were so many things that I was confused and bewildered about, and there's a lot that I want to learn about the IRA now, much more since before the video. So very interesting. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. We'll keep on learning. If you're not doing well, look at me. Chin up. Emotions are fickle, my friend. You will be good soon. Bye, guys.